Hello there and welcome to tonight's video. Now you might be thinking, well, it doesn't look like it's nighttime, but it is. It's in the middle of the summer here. It's actually the start of July, a few days into July. And I'm down here at the River Don, which is just next to St. Bede's Monastery and St. Paul's Church. It was supposed to actually absolutely throw it down here today, but it hasn't yet. But I think it might be starting to spit on, and if it gets heavier, I'm going to have to turn this camera off because it isn't waterproof or even water resistant. So, but let's hope it stops again if it does come down like a ton of bricks, or cats and dogs, whatever you want to call it. And I'm standing on this bridge here. This is a really old bridge. The bridge was built in the 1800s, and apparently I think this bridge was used obviously to go from Jarrow to South Shields. Well, it's not obvious, but that's what I read on this. There's like a notice board sign over there thing, and the monks used to use this bridge a lot. Apparently they used to work or live at the monastery. I think they lived there, but I'm not sure. Some of them might have lived there and some of them might have just worked there. I'm no expert on that, and I haven't got any here with us to ask, so I'll remain none the wiser for the minute. Anyway, another thing, I was just over the end of the bridge here the other night by myself. There's nobody around, and I was just walking off the end of the bridge and I heard a voice. I sometimes do hear voices when I'm out, even when there's nobody there, and I often record them, but I wasn't recording it on this occasion, unfortunately. But I did hear somebody. There was somebody just behind us there. I thought they'd disappeared there. I thought they were an apparition, but they weren't. They just went behind the trees. I just saw them passing through the bushes, the trees there. Anyway, as I was saying, I was just coming off the end of this bridge over behind us here the other night, about two nights or so ago, and I heard a bloke's voice. Didn't sound too far away from us. It didn't even sound like a full word. It was just like it almost sounded like a grunt or something, like a, you know, like a, or something like. It might have been part of a word, but I couldn't make it out. And like I say, I wasn't recording, so I can't analyse to see if I can make out what was said or anything. So yeah, so I'm down here again tonight, just because the weather's okay at the minute. But like I say, it did seem to be spitting on there for a minute. It's probably going to chuck it down, because it was supposed to be raining all day from 3 o'clock today right up until 12 o'clock according to the weather forecast, at least on my phone. Apparently this bridge used to be a lot narrower back in the day, years ago. Now it's like they made it wider. I forget the reason. I can have a look at the sign over there. There's like a like I say, like a board notice thing with a lot of information about the bridge on it and stuff. And the tide's out to some extent at the minute, as you can probably see, and it's still extremely windy here today. So I hope you can hear us okay, because I'm not using an external microphone, as this particular model of camera doesn't take one. I do own a few that do, but I've got some issues with those cameras, and I can't find the adapter for the microphone on one of them, and the other one hasn't got an adapter. It has got an adapter, sorry, but I can't find the right sort of mic to buy for it. It's very confusing and complicated, shall we say. But I was watching this video on YouTube last night of this guy who comes down here sometimes to dig up old bottles in the river when the tide's fully out. He puts his hands in the mud with his wellies on, and he pulls bottles from like years ago out. So if you check his channel out, I'm trying to think what it was called. Something to do with I can't remember offhand. I just found it last night, but I've subscribed to him anyway, so check him out. He's well worth watching, and he did find a few ancient relics of bottles and things in the river. But one thing I did notice when I was watching his video last night, while he was putting his hands in the mud, digging out the bottles and stuff, there was a whistle on his video, it sort of went. I know I was a very good whistler. I cannot whistle very well. I'm not a whistler. I'm not a good whistler. But I heard a whistle, and I mentioned it on the comments. I wrote him a comment, and he had a listen, and he heard it. I says, "Have you any idea what that is?" He says, "Well, it's either a bird or a ghost." I says, "It's probably more likely to be a ghost because I've recorded a few things down here on the investigations I've done down this place next to the monastery, mainly, not on the bridge here. I haven't done any on the bridge at all, actually. I just used to stay up by the monastery at night and in early evening when it was just before dark. I used to come down here at the monastery and stuff. So yeah, but I did record a few voices down here over the years and stuff, both by myself and with my friend John and Anthony, and also with the paranormal group called Twilight Worlds. And I also did a video on here like 5 years ago now with Gateshead Paranormal. If you haven't seen that one, you can check it out. It's here on my channel. It's on like an hour or something. It's a bit long, like, so you might need to get a cup of tea, some cocoa and some biscuits or something while they watch it, maybe, or something. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but there's a huge pylon over there. I don't know if it's showing up very well on the camera here. I can't tell on the screen, but there's tons of pylons down here. Huge ones, the biggest ones anywhere in Jarrow Heaven. I don't know why they're all down here. Like, there must be a reason, because the main river is over there, the River Tyne, the big river. You can probably see the cranes in the distance, and ships obviously go up and down that river and stuff. I don't think any ships come down this river because they wouldn't fit under this bridge. There's a few swans though. There's one over there, and some ducks, but the ducks are nowhere to be seen at the minute. They're probably off doing something else, watching TV or something, I don't know. I don't know what they get up to when they're on the river. Now this place, I believe, well, the monastery, I believe, is haunted to some extent, and probably this area here, this whole bridge probably has stuff happening on it at certain times. I don't know for sure, but I imagine there would be some stuff, because this place has a lot of history. I was watching a video yesterday also on YouTube where there was an American guy visiting the monastery up beyond the trees there on the bank, and he travelled all the way from America just to come here to see the monastery, I think. At least that was one of his stop off points, you know, because this place, we take it for granted, but there's people come from other countries to see our monasteries and castles and everything. We take it for granted. We can just walk down the road and we're there. They have to get on a plane and buses and taxis and all sorts to come and see, you know what I'm saying? And we take them for granted, you know. So anyway, I think it's going to rain any minute. It's getting very, very dark here. Right, just as I suspected, it did actually start to chuck it down, and it's now several days later, because I had to completely stop recording at that point when I was on the bridge, because it absolutely chucked it down. It didn't like stop for ages, like went on all night, I think. Anyway, I'm back here again, and I'm on this sort of road on the way into the way into down by the river. My friend showed us this route to go down by the river. I didn't even know it was here until he pointed it out. I actually thought there was an entrance into one of these factories, because the entrance is back down this road here, and there's these big, like, well, you can probably see them behind us here, these big massive silos, I think they're called. I think that's what they're called, I'm not sure. So I thought this entrance was into one of those places, but it isn't. And as you can see, as it's Jarrow and all that, there's lots of artwork behind us. There's this looks like the devil right here. Not sure why they painted him. And it goes all the way down there. I guess this is known as vandalism to some, and graffiti to others, and some it's known as artwork. And some believe it brightens up the place, and some just thinks it makes it look a hell of a mess. I think I'll lie somewhere in between that, because I like the colours they use, the bright colours and stuff, the blues, the reds, the yellows, the greens, the cyans, the magentas, and all that stuff, you know. It's good for the videos and what I mean. And yet again, it's still pretty damn windy today. It's been windy for like the longest time lately. There hasn't been a day that's gone by where it hasn't been windy. And and today is no exception. It's windy again. So I'm going to head down here, back down to the river again, where I was just a few minutes ago, or for me, a few days ago. So I'll see you when I get down there. Be back with you in a minute. Okay, so I've just arrived down next to the river here. I'm on these rather nice seats here. There's let's see, about 5 of them or so, something like that. Anyway, there's a few benches as well, but they're a bit narrow for my liking. I like seats with backs on, as you probably know if you watch my channel. And there's swans down here, and there's ducks, and there's a rat coming up the bank right now, unless it's a vole, I'm not sure. Let's see if I can get a shot of it. This is not the best camera for getting shots of rats, like, but we'll try. I don't know if you can see him, but he's on the bank here, and there's another one. You might have to get your magnifying glasses out and your binoculars and telescopes in order to see them, but because I haven't got like a zoom lens. Well, I have, but it's not the best, so I don't like to use it. I could go down the bank a bit, but my bike's here, I don't want to get it stolen, it's not locked up, and there's people behind us, so. But there's 2 rats or voles here. I'm not sure what they are. I'm not close enough to be able to tell, unfortunately. I've got my sunglasses on today because my hay fever gets serious. Like, your eyes, they're starting to itch now even though I've got the glasses on. And also, I get loads of flies hitting us in the eyes, especially in the summer. It's serious. And as you can see, the tide's completely out here. This is usually the whole river here, but it's now completely out. Unfortunately, I was hoping the tide would be in. Well, you should be able to see one of the rats is running across the grass. Hopefully you can see him. He's disappeared. Oh, there he is. I think the 2 rats are together now, as far as I can tell. Yeah, they are. As long as they don't start humping, I'll have to cut that bit out if they do, because I don't want to get my video taken down. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to try and go over to them closer. I'll probably run off. There they go. He's off. And there's Jarrow's run over there. He's bounding through the grass like a bunny rabbit, actually. I knew that would happen. Oh well. It's just the way it is, as the great Bruce Hornsby once said. I could have fell down a bank there. I've got high heels on. Not stilettos, don't get us wrong. Just, you know, men's boots, not women's. Yeah. Right then, that was exciting, wasn't it? I don't know, like I say, I don't have the best camera for capturing wildlife, especially not when they're quite far away from you, as most of them tend to be, because they're a bit timid at going up to people, you know, especially rats. I quite like rats and mice, but they always run off from you. That's a problem, and now I'm against the light here. I'm against the light. If I move back over here, it should be better, I think. Yeah, I think it's a bit better. But the screen, I've got my bloody sunglasses on, everything looks dark. It looks like the screen's too dark, I can't see a thing. And just up behind us here is St. Bede's Monastery, where I'll be going in a few minutes. But I'm going to go back down to the old bridge, the old Jarrow Bridge now, I think. Unless I find something else on the way that catches me interest. Like these 2 crows here. I think they're crows. Yeah, they're crows. But like I say, I kind of zoom in on them. Actually, I don't even know where the zoom button is on this camera. I never use it. I've been looking for it on the settings, but I can't find it. And what are you lot making such a noise about? Dear me. Must be dinner time or something. Or almost dinner time. Right, I've finally arrived back at the old Jarrow Bridge here. And as you can see, I didn't point this out the other day, but it's got lots of cobbles across it, on the ground, obviously. I don't know how old those are. They could be from the 1800s, or they could have been renewed in more recent times. I'm not 100% sure. But it's very bumpy trying to ride across it, I can tell you that much, if you ride across it. And it's got an incredible hump in the middle, if you pardon the expression. I don't know if you can see, but there is a bit of a hump in the middle. It's like a humpback bridge basically. And once again, the tide still hasn't come back in yet. I don't know what time it's due to come back in. I presume it comes back in tonight at some point. And at least it's sunny at the minute and rather warm, to say the least. Now, as I was trying to tell you before it started to rain the other night, just a few minutes back on this video, I did hear a voice at the end of this bridge. I know I'm repeating myself here, but I'm going to go over to the area where I heard it. And there's nobody digging in the mud down here today trying to find old bottles and stuff. I can't see anyone. And I can't see any wellies left in the mud either if they got stuck. Surprised that doesn't happen. Probably does, but they get their wellies out again. Probably. Yeah. Thought I wasn't recording there. Sometimes this bloody camera has a habit of stopping recording while you're recording, and you think you're still recording when you're actually not. It happened to us yesterday in Newcastle. And I was going for a recording, well, I thought I was recording for about 20 minutes until I looked at the screen and found out it wasn't recording at all, which is bloody marvellous. Right then, this is the spot where I was a few nights back. I think it was last week now. I was pretty much standing right on this spot here, right at the end of the bridge, and I was talking about a sign over here behind us. There's like a sign on a post here, and I was talking about that, and I heard somebody go or something, like some sort of word or something. I didn't catch what it was, but definitely something, I would say. I don't think it was in the distance, I'm pretty sure it wasn't. It took us by surprise, obviously, because there's nobody here. Well, there wasn't anybody here the other night, and there's nobody here now, unless someone's coming along the path, but no, I can't see anyone yet. And here's that this bit of information on this board here I was talking about, the other night before it started raining. As it says, it's called the Jarrow Bridge, and it was built in, let's see, when was it? It's hard to read with sunglasses on. It was built in the 1800s, I believe. It does say somewhere. It said it was. It says the bridge had been repaired in 1781/83 by a mason. Now, would that be a stonemason or a freemason? Or was it both the same thing? Or the one and the same? I don't know. And there's an illustration of St. Paul's Church and St. Bede'S Monastery. I think there's a bit more to it than what there is now. And what's the, oh, that's the bridge in the foreground, I believe. Because you could have a clear view of the monastery back then, from the bridge or behind the bridge. But now it's all obscured with trees, as you can see. But the monastery's just behind these trees here, right behind these trees. You might be able to see a little bit of it through between the trees, or you might not, but I can see it outside the camera. I don't know if the camera's picking it up too well. And over here, there's this thing here, whatever it is. What is it? It looks like a mine or a pit. Maybe that's South Shields or something. Maybe it's Tyne Dock, I'm not sure. Oh, it's Jarrow Colliery, my mistake. As part of the opening ceremony for Jarrow Colliery on the 26th of September 1803, Simon Temple, wasn't he the saint? Oh, it was Simon Templar. They missed the R off. That was Roger Moore, wasn't it? And Ian Ogilvy played him as well, when Roger Moore packed in, I think. Anyway, it's a different Simon Templar. It's not the same name, it's just slightly different. Like I say, it's missing the R on the end, but apart from that, it's the same. The colliery owner met a large party of local dignitaries, and from there they moved around the surrounding land, laying the foundation stones for a school, a seminary for young girls, a hospital, and a fever house. You give me fever. No, I don't think it was that type of fever, but never mind. It says, before opening the mine to the accompaniment of a band and a firing of artillery before a crowd said to be 10,000 strong. Wow, that's quite a few then. Certainly more people there than what's subscribing to me on YouTube, that's for sure. Yeah, that bridge looks longer on that bottom picture there. Wow, that's the side view though. Oh well, that's interesting. Yeah, like I was saying the other night, I don't know if there's any spirits of the monks down here. Like, who knows, there probably is, but I don't think they're going to make their presence felt somehow. Especially not now. Not right now while I'm here, I don't think. And look at these pillar things, these posts at the end of the bridge here. They must be more modern, surely. They don't look that old, especially the bottom bit. The bottom bit looks like possibly was put on in the 90s or the 2000s. It's probably been repaired recently, or not so long back, a few years back maybe. Maybe even, you know, sooner than that, I don't know. Who knows? I don't see any rats down this part, but a rat ran out in front of us when I was coming along this path further back next to where the swans were the other night. At first I thought it was tumbleweed. Did I mention that already? I apologise if I did. Like I say, the first part of this video was a few nights back, so I forgot what I said on some of it. I can't remember every word I say after all. Who can? I'm not Mr. Memory Man. Right, so this is the pathway under the trees by the river here, and just up over this wall here, like I said before, is the monastery. So you should be able to see it, if my exposure lets us, that is. I am using automatic exposure after all. Right, well there it is, but actually I think I'm not on tilt mode on my camera, so it's not seeing the top of the building, but you can see some of it at least. That's for sure, but that's for the other bit. Hang on. Okay, I've just switched the tilt mode on. You might have been able to see the top of the St. Paul's church before. I'm just looking at a very small screen here, so it's hard to tell. But I've got the tilt mode on at the minute. So there it is in all its glory, and I don't want to drop the camera over the wall here because I might not get to it on the other side. I have to go all the way around the outside and back into there and down by this wall on the other side to find it again, wouldn't I? And across there, just across the river here, which is still empty pretty much of water, is a wood yard, and I believe that's where they usually store the wood, under that big shed type thing up there, but it appears to be empty at the minute for some reason. And that's on the way to South Shields, that place actually, which I may go to in a few minutes, or I may not, depending on a few things. So let's head on up into the monastery itself. Okay, so here we are at the St. Paul's church bit, and that's one of the entrances behind me here, obviously. I don't think that's the main entrance. I think the main entrance is the one around the other side. I'm not sure. I think when I think they still have funerals here, and I think they come in through that other entrance on the other side, because that's like a road entrance from the gate from the main road, where I guess the hearse would drive in, because this is just like a footpath in this bit. So unless they walk around and carry it up the path, I don't know. Not sure, but I would have presumed the hearse comes in down that driveway around there. But I know it's a little bit morbid for a sunny afternoon, but it's just something that crossed my mind, you know, while I was here. And I think over there behind me, over here, I'm not sure what this building is. It might possibly be like a priest's house or something, but I'm not sure. Maybe it was at one time. At the minute it looks like it might be derelict, because it's got like metal shutters down on the side windows. I don't know about the front. I didn't actually notice the front bit, but it looks like it used to be a house for somebody, that's for sure. So let's go around the front. Right, I'm going to walk around. I'll take you with us, or with me if you're from America or another country, because if I say with us, you won't know what the hell I'm talking about, will you? The Geordie lingo doesn't come across too well in other countries, I think. I've often been talking to like Americans and stuff, and people from Philippines and other places in chat rooms, and this says, you know, when I say is, like I say, like I'm, you know, I don't know, how do you put it, I'm trying to think of a sentence. You know, when you say is, I mean me, with us. They go, what do you mean us? They say us. What do you mean by us? I says, I'm not saying us, I'm saying us. See, they don't understand, you see. They don't understand. How you know something like this wall seems to be leaning slightly. Like sort of this way a bit. That's not a good sign. You don't want to fall in on someone one of these days, especially when it's windy. Although, hang on a minute, it's windy today. Now over here, I'm not sure what this bit is. There's a little sign over there, I might go and have a look. I'm not sure if this used to be part of the monastery here, or this was always the grass, the gardens area. I'm not 100% sure. But let's have a look at this sign. It probably just says keep off the grass or something. And if it does, it's a bit late for that. Obviously. And down there beyond the trees is where we've just come from. Next to the river. So let's swing round here. Swing round, swing round, swing round. And here we are. It says the monastery through time. The Anglo-Saxon monastery, founded by Benedict Bishop in the 7th century, was laid out very differently to the medieval monastery created by Aldwin 4 centuries later. Right, I'm not going to bore you with all this, I'm not going to read the whole thing. But it looks like this bit of grass was always here, by the looks of it. Ah well, that answers that question. So here's what's left of it. And there's another little board over there with some more information on it. That one looks like it's leaning a bit as well, you know, like this way a bit. Hey, I tell you what, I saw an amazing video on YouTube the other day of this place. Somebody who's an expert drone pilot took some amazing shots of this building, flying through doors, windows above it, and spinning around it and showing you from the aerial view and everything, as drones often do. But he was flying like through these doorways and windows, like just like floating through them at speed, you know. Some of them were quite fast, some of them were slower. It was a very, very well done video. I wonder what driving or pilot school he went to fly the drone as well as that, you know. They obviously taught him well, and if he taught himself, he did a damn good job, that's for sure. I forget the name of the channel because I've only seen one video from it so far. So yeah, I'm going to go through this doorway here if my bike will fit. I think it's narrower than my front door, and my handlebars are quite wide, so hope it fits. Let's see if it fits. I don't think it's going to fit, you know. Is it? Oh, it fits. It fits. Only just, but it fits. And we're through, finally. And I mentioned before, there's this American guy here as well. He wasn't doing any paranormal investigations though, he was just telling you about the history of the place. And I guess that window might have been on the upper floor, but I'm not sure when the upper floor existed. Not sure really. But I did some investigations here with my friend John in the past on a night time with the night vision. That was an enjoyable few nights. Not that we really picked a whole lot up, but it was still fun and nevertheless. It doesn't mean there's nothing here though, because it depends what equipment you're using, and it depends on lots of things, I guess. You know, whether they want to talk to you or whether they don't. They might be somewhere else at the time, they might not have been here. Yeah, you know, you never know, they might have been inside the church. And here's the only room I think there is. Oh, there's a couple, I think it's a couple of rooms. This is a room with a view. And that American guy pointed out some of the new bricks where they've repaired some of this. You'd think they would have used like some of the same colour bricks, wouldn't you? Just so it matched up better. They must have been on a tight budget back then. God help them if they want to fix things now, because things are a bit worse. They'll be using bloody Lego bricks to repair it, I think, this time. Although, having said that, Lego's bloody expensive these days, so maybe they won't use Lego. Maybe stickle bricks or something from their old childhood collections. And here's some more where they've repaired it as well. I mean, hell, you can get better. You can get better bricks like that from B&Q, for God's sakes. You know what I mean? That would matched up better than them. They look like the bricks they've built like council houses around Hebden and Jarrow with. It's probably the council that did it up actually. And up there they've got all them like cables, like green cables, something to do with power and like a lightning conductor or something, I'm not sure. According to me, my friend on Facebook, Terry, he thinks it's something to do with free energy. We could all do with some of that right now. Anytime, basically, not just right now. And I don't know what this is. I thought that was a keypad there for a second. I was thinking, this is the elevator fit in here. I wouldn't have thought so. Going up. Coming down. Prices aren't coming down on things these days, I tell you that, right? So this is a nice view from here. If I didn't have my bike with us, I could sort of like try to fake a drone shot by just going like this and then climbing through the hole without bashing my head off the top of here. But that would be difficult because I'm like 6'3" or 4 or something. So there you have it. And here's another nice view through this doorway or window. I presume it was a doorway. It looks the right size to be a doorway, but it possibly could have been a large window. I'm no expert. But I'm still going with the door thing. But a nice view down there nevertheless. I'll try to swing round. Hang on. Swing round, swing round. And there we have it. I don't know, it looks cockeyed on my screen. I just leveled this thing up. Hang on. That must be just an illusion. As Imagination once sang one time. Good song that. Imagination. No, it was. What's it called? An illusion, that was it. It's just an illusion. And there's not much over this end. Just more grass and paths. And a wall, and then over there is the shipyards. It's on the way to Shields, I believe. There's the cranes you can see in the distance. And over here obviously is St. Paul's. This tower often reminds me of the one in the Alfred Hitchcock movie called Vertigo with James Stewart. The one where he chases up after Eva Marie Saint up the spiral staircase to the top of the tower, but he can't make it all the way up to the top because he's got acrophobia with a C, not agoraphobia, like when you're scared to go outside. It's a fear of heights, and it gives you vertigo. If you go up heights, you go dizzy. A lot of people think a fear of heights is called vertigo, but it isn't. Vertigo just means dizziness. The correct description and term for the fear of heights is acrophobia. A-C-R, acrophobia. It's not exactly the same as the church in that film. It's a very nice church in a little small graveyard, if my memory serves us right. But it always reminds me of that. And I don't know if I think the bells sometimes ring in here, don't they? I don't think they're going to ring today though, because I'm here and they don't like ringing them when I'm around, so I heard. And here is like it's above the doors, like a sun thing, like that semicircle. I think that represents the sun, or maybe it represents the dome surrounding the flat earth, so some people seem to think. I don't know. And we've got the diamond shapes on the windows there, the metal. I don't know what they're made of, like, I forget the name of the material. Is it lead or something on the windows, making them diamond shapes? And they're still on, like, even modern windows on houses to this day, diamonds. And I've seen a lot of diamond symbols on people's front doors, like the window on the front door is often shaped like a diamond. And yeah, that symbolism is all over the place. I keep pointing that out, but nobody seems to care about it. It's very important, but nobody seems bothered about it in the slightest. All people seem to think or care about is that bloody triangle with the eye in it. And I think the diamond one's a bit more prevalent than that one. Is that the right word? Prominent, prevalent, something like that. I remember I was here one night with John and Anthony, and we came down here to do an investigation in the dark, and it absolutely started chucking it down. And John had his new camcorder with night vision, and he still was recording even though it was chucking it down. It wasn't even waterproof. And then I says, John, you're going to knock the camera or something, and he says, oh, it should be alright. Few like minutes later, half an hour or so, his camera conked out. I don't know, it was completely broke, like totally broke, but like wasn't good nevertheless. I knew something like that would happen. And there's a door up in midair that's been bricked up, as the American guy also pointed out, as you can see there, and some flowers or weeds growing up on the side of there. A few of them around. And I don't know what this thing is in the middle here. This little square thing with a little pyramid on the top. I'm not sure what it is. Anyone know what this is for? Is it for sitting down? Is it a little seat? Because last time I sat on a pyramid, it wasn't too comfortable. I'll tell you that much. Okay then, well, I hope you've enjoyed this little look around St. Bede's Monastery and down by the river at the old Jarrow Bridge and the various surroundings next to the river, and a couple of rats if you managed to see those. I know they were probably pretty small on the screen, but I could see them. I apologise if the rats didn't show up too well. Those dirty rats, they killed my brother, those dirty rats. No, just kidding. That was a line from James Cagney that was used in one of my favourite TV shows, Perfect Strangers, with Bronson Pinchot and Mark Lynn Baker. Does anyone remember that show? From it started in 1986, went on into the early 90s, mid 90s. I think it was early 90s. But the BBC didn't show all the seasons, they only showed like the first 2 or 3, and they missed some seasons out, and it was all higgledy-piggledy, odd episodes here and there. It was all mixed up. But America got all the seasons until it finished, right till the end. Anyway, so I'm going to leave you now, and like I say, I hope you've enjoyed this little look around here. It's been quite quiet. I think a woman passed with her dog in the monastery here, and that was about it. There's a few people, more people down by the river, like looking at the swans and the rats and stuff. Well, I went to see the rats. I didn't expect to see any rats, but there was some there. I saw at least 4 of them, I think, and this was the same 2 coming back from earlier. And I just thought it was 4, but it was just 2 rats. Could have been, you never know. But I forgot to tell you, or did I mention? I think I mentioned on another video, I forget. I found a dead rat, unfortunately, on the road down next to the factories on the way into Jarrow town centre. And unfortunately, he was dead. Like he wasn't moving or anything. You know, he was just lying there basically. And anyway, I took some photographs of him. I said I was going to put them in a video. I forget which video it was now. Anyway, I went back a few days later, and he had moved position. He wasn't a ghost or anything. He hadn't like moved because he was a ghost. It was what had happened was the birds, unfortunately, had been eating him. I was going to say eating him to death, but he was already dead, so they couldn't do that. He was already dead. So anyway, they were picking away at him, and you could see bits of his bones sticking out and all sorts. There wasn't much left of him at all. In fact, when I passed him, I didn't even know it was him. I thought it was a piece of debris, like some rubbish someone had just thrown to one side out of the car window or something. Anyway, that was a pity. I don't like to see animals getting killed. I don't know how he got killed, because he was in perfect shape. He didn't have any injuries, not that I could see. No open wounds. He could have had head injuries for all I know. They just didn't show up too well. It might have showed up under a X-ray machine or something, or a brain. What do they call them things? Those scanner things. You go in the tunnel, think you're lying in them. Might have showed up on one of them. Probably have little small rat-sized ones of them, if they need them, you know, in case they need them. But yeah, he was definitely. He's seen better days, basically. So anyway, I don't know where he's gone now. He's probably just a bunch of bones in the corner. He probably blew away in the wind, unfortunately. Anyway, I'd just like to thank you very much for watching this video here tonight. It is evening, by the way. It looks like it's the middle of the afternoon, but it's hang on, I'll just check to see what time it is. I'll put my glasses back on a minute. Oh, just put myself in the eye. It is 20 to 7 in the evening, and it's what day is it? I think it's Thursday, actually. Yeah, it's Thursday. I never know what day it is these days. Yeah, it's Thursday, so yeah. And it's sunny in the evening. It's not supposed to rain today, but tomorrow's going to chuck it down again. And yesterday it chucked it down several times. I was out in it, so I would know. Anyways, just like to thank you very much for watching tonight. And I guess I'll see you next time. So take care of each other and yourselves. Or something like that. Isn't that what Jerry Springer used to say? Take good care of yourselves and each other. That's what Jerry Springer used to say, who sadly passed away recently. Yeah, but he did some good shows, let's face it. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time, so bye for now. Ta-ra now.